Oh, hey guys. Welcome to another awesome episode of the Boston Chris podcast. It's Tori Martin week here on the show. I know. Tori is absolutely on fire in the Texas country music genre and in our scene. Just an incredible singer-songwriter with multiple number ones on the Texas charts, two now, and almost a third. Her third top 10 single is called Cowgirls Ride, which is number 6 right now, which we talk about in this episode. Let me tell you a little bit more about Tori Martin. Actually, before we do that, I have homework for y'all. I need y'all to hit that like button wherever you're watching or listening. Hit the subscribe button or the follow button. Ring the bell to be notified if you want to get more and see more content like this. And I need you guys to comment down below your favorite part of this episode. Please do that. Please, please, please. Anyway, let's tell you a little bit more about Tori Martin. Tori Martin carries a sense of maturity that can only be found through a wealth of life experiences, and it is undeniable in her artistry. Lucky Sky music recording artist Tori Martin brings an authenticity of a real country music lover to her songwriting and to her live performances. Tori's modern traditional country sound comes from her roots as a true blue Texas singer. We talk about all of that, where that comes from her granddad, believe it or not. She was born in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. She's a military brat. We talk about that. And she landed in Azle, Texas at the age of 7. We talk about the role of the Metroplex, the DFW area, on her as a youngster. How she got started in music, traveling Opries around Texas at the age of 14. Her American Idol experience. Just so much stuff in this interview. I hope you guys will sit down and enjoy the most in-depth and candid conversation ever with the Tori Martin here on The Boston Chris Show. Let's check it out.
It's time to jam. It's time to mingle. It's time to see what everyone's drinking. It's time to jam. It's time to mingle. It's time to see what everyone's drinking. Until we all lose connection.
Hey, this is Jamie Richards. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Boston Chris Show.
Hey guys, we have Tori Martin on the show. It is Tori Martin week this week, and she's actually blowing up on the scene in Texas right now. She has been for a while, to be fair, and we've got 2 consecutive number 1 hits. Working on a third, almost there with the third. I think it's going to get there. What's going on with you? Just like killing it, right?
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just grinding. I'm doing all the things, but it's a cowgirl era right now for me. Cowgirls Ride.
Yeah, it certainly is, and we're definitely going to talk about that. Martha gave us a live version of the song, a little snippet that we can include. So I love talking to songwriters and artists because we always find the genesis for the songs, right? How they came to be. And it's not going to be any different for Cowgirls Ride. So tell us as much as you can about this song and let folks know where it came from.
Sure. So Cowgirls Ride is obviously inspired by cowgirls, like very much literally, but also like the cowgirl in us, and sometimes like women, all people, but the underdog. I really wrote this song for the underdog, the unsung heroes, which I think we've all felt like that at some point in our life. But I wrote this one with Kirsty Manna and Bill DeLuigi, and he's also on my label too, Lucky Sky Music. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, it's really special to me. I love it. I'm like, it's kind of like a champion song, it gets you hyped up.
I love it because like it's got like different vibes in it. It's very traditional, it's very Western, but it's also 21st century. It's that mix in the song, and I love that. And I love that that's really what you're doing overall with your music is bringing those different almost like eras into your art. And Hopefully we get a chance to chat about that today. But let's show you guys the live snippet of the next number one song for Tori Martin. I'm going to say it. I think it's going to be number 3. It's Cowgirls Ride right here on the Boston Chris Show. Y'all check it out.
Well, they raise them kind of restless in the reckless heart of Texas. Bust the bolts right off the fences. They're like tumbleweeds blowing. You can try, but you can't hold them. Queens of the broken Mustangs running wild. Cowgirls ride. Let the cowgirls ride. Cowgirls ride. Let the cowgirls ride. They wear attitude like denim. You can bet you won't forget them. I sent from western heaven. They're like songs of prairie daughters, baptized in the crazy waters. Shoot straight as a revolver. Their aim don't lie. Cowgirls ride. Let the cowgirls ride. Cowgirls ride. Let the cowgirls ride. Hit your trailer, run the barrels at the rodeo. Mama taught her what she knew. She was born to know.
All right, so we're back with Tori Martin. Man, I've been wanting to chat with you since Lost in the Country. So
Oh, yay.
I'm so glad this finally worked out. You're so busy, and you mentioned that you have to hustle, right? You have to get out there. You have to work the streets, work the radio stations, work the stages, right? You gotta work your ass off in this business, especially in Texas, to get some notice, right?
That's right. You got to do all the things, and then social media is like a whole other element
Sure.
as well. Yeah, and like I've been at this for a long time, and when I first got into the scene, I'm like, it was a while ago. I got into music pretty young. I think like Facebook was kind of emerging, and that was kind of like a newer thing. And I remember like sharing stuff like about my shows and things coming up, and that was just kind of like, oh, okay, this is new. Now it's a whole different ball game. So I'm like, that's a whole other animal as well, and a part of your career.
Yeah, and I mean, part of that hard work, the result of that is being the current 2025 New Female Vocalist of the Year through the TRRRs. And if you guys are from outside of Texas, we do have obviously a lot of viewers all over the world. The TRRRs are the CMAs, the ACMs, the Grammys of Texas country music, in my opinion. And so New Female Vocalist is, there's a lot of girls out there vying for that, and that's a big accomplishment.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it was an honor. I've been grinding, and you don't expect any type of like notoriety or awards. At least I don't think you should, but I was like, oh, I'm not going to win it. I'm excited to get to perform at the awards, and that was amazing to get up there and sing. I sang Abilene, which was like racing up the chart at that time, and did hit number 1, but I just was honored to get to be on stage and perform in front of everybody and let them hear my music and hear me sing. And so I was genuinely shocked to win. I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. But it was an honor. It's really cool
Yeah.
to be recognized.
The awards is such a cool experience anyway, even if you're not, involved in any way or nominated or performing. Like, I feel like there's steps to that, and the more steps you have, the bigger honor it is. But like, just being there and networking and getting to talk and see people that you don't get to see because you're performing on the same nights when you're out on the road, and so like hanging out is really cool as well. Man, I gotta tell you, on this show, we've 540 something artists now have been on the show.
Wow.
And it's so funny in an ironic sense how many military brats we end up on the show. I think
Okay,
there's
cool.
a correlation between that and becoming a touring artist. And we have another one here with Tori. Tori, correct me if I'm wrong, you were born in Fort Walton Beach, Florida, right?
That's right.
And Dad was in the military, so you moved around a lot, but ended up settling in Azle, right, in Texas.
That's right. We ended up living out there the longest once he retired. But yeah, I was Air Force brat, lived all over. And I always say, I do kind of feel like it prepares you for this life a little bit because you're constantly on the go, you're on the road, be ready. Every day is not the same, but yeah, I kind of have like that routine in the same regard. I like things in order.
Yeah. I think it's like I said, it's really ironic. A lot of artists on the show either came from other artists or musicians of somebody in the business or came from the military. I think there is a correlation, and you're right, there is a preparation as well. If that's the lifestyle you're living as a kid. What are some lessons that your mom and dad kind of bestowed upon you as a youngster?
Definitely that, like your name matters and you want to bring honor to your name and stay true to yourself, but also, like help the person behind you, just like salt of the earth, stay salt of the earth. And so that's something that I strive to be, like I don't ever want to be somebody who's full of themselves and forget the people that helped you along the way. I'm like, I just want to remain humble and true to myself.
Sometimes you got to slow yourself down to do that, huh?
Yeah, it's true. Like you gotta stay to your roots. And I wrote Lost in the Country a little bit about that, if we were talking about that song, because I love to get off the grid, so to speak, and like get lost in the country, literally. Like that's for me, like kind of like getting back to my roots. It's like, okay, like I don't bring my cell phone, hanging out with horses and cows and just getting out of literally anywhere that I have service. Yeah. And then listening to country music. So like I get lost in the literal country, but also lost in country music. So that is something that like humbles me, keeps me grounded, and then my faith also keeps me grounded too.
It's just great stuff. And yeah, we mentioned you ended up settling in Azle, and for those that are not from Texas or from the Metroplex, that's a little northwest of Fort Worth, right there on the lake. And I imagine that was a great place to grow up, right?
It was. It's grown a lot, but it was very small town when I had lived there. So it's a well that I continually pull from as a songwriter. Like it really shaped me into who I am today.
And so as a youngster, kind of looking back now, I mean, you've had a pretty long career now in the music business. Guys, she looks young, but she started young. I promise we're going to talk about that too. But like, talk a little bit about the role of your geography growing up and what that played, like the role that the geography played on your art. Looking back, like, did the Metroplex, Fort Worth, especially having been being such a mecca in music, did that play a role on who you are artistically?
For sure. I mean, definitely like small town USA inspired me so much. And I would spend some of my summers between Arkansas and Louisiana because I have family in both states. And so literally I just grew up really country, very rural. And then I started singing in like Texas Opry houses, which is kind of a dying breed. Like we have the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, but it was kind of like a mini Opry, exactly like that. And that's where I kind of got my feet wet, like getting up and singing with a house band. And so that was a lot of fun. And I'm really grateful for those moments. And obviously I sang in like the stockyards a lot, which it has evolved and I'm sure it will continue to. But, back in the day, I'm like, it was the Wild West out there, man.
Yeah. That's a good place to find mentors too, right? Because there's just a lot of musicians, a lot of songwriters, especially in Fort Worth, that you can kind of learn from, even from afar, I feel. I understand one of your really early influences when it comes to music was your grandfather. Talk a little bit about that and what impact he had on you.
Absolutely. My papa loved country music. Like that was just his absolute favorite genre. And at a young age, like I kind of was, taking to music. I don't come from a musical family where people play instruments or they're singers or a singing group, but I do come from like a family of musical lovers. And so he saw that in me at a really young age and that I love to sing. And so he's like, all right, if you're going to sing music, then you need to know the classics and the real deal music. And that's country music. And so my love for country music started way back when as a little girl. And I'd listen to like Tammy Wynette with him and Johnny Cash, so many, and like Willie Nelson, Patsy Cline. He really liked some of the big like girl
Sure,
singers, and so that's truly a huge inspiration for me. And he bought me my first guitar when I was 8. So if it wasn't for him believing in me way back when, I probably wouldn't be in this interview with you today.
I love that, and it's so funny. I have an outline that I briefly look at, and sometimes I look at it, sometimes I don't. A lot of times I'm trying to pick up on tells that the guest will give me. You just gave me one, so I'm going to try to unpack it. So you talked about your grandfather being into the girl singers, and I feel like maybe there's a correlation here as well. It is really difficult for the female artist in the industry. It's getting better. It is getting easier in some ways. In some ways, maybe not. But you being a female artist now, do you think there was kind of a, I can do this because your grandfather was kind of gravitated towards the girl singers more than, say, the males? Do you think you kind of look at that and say, you know what, I can do this too?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have like that grit and that determination, and the belief and my self-belief definitely started back then when Papa's like, you can do this.
Yeah.
He got me the guitar. He's like, every good country singer needs a guitar.
I love that.
So I'm like, okay, Papa. But yeah, I mean, that's something that helps me dig deep in those tough moments, because it is a dogfight, especially as a woman in this industry. You got to roll up your sleeves, and you can't be afraid to get dirty. So he told me, he passed away in 2012, and he told me, he's like, just keep singing for Papa. So that's something that I tell myself, like on those tough days. I'm like, all right, I'm going to just keep singing for you, Papa, no matter what that looks like.
Yeah, I love that, man. It pisses me off. I'll keep it real. Like, I'm a huge champion for the female artist, and it really makes me mad when I hear somebody say, she's good for a girl, or she's a great writer for a girl, or she plays good guitar for a female. Like, that makes me so mad, right? Like, it shouldn't be like that. It should just be, everybody should be equal, and if you're good, you're good, and if you're bad, you're bad, and regardless of what's between your legs, that shouldn't open opportunities for you, right? That's just how I feel.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm preaching to the choir.
Yeah, makes me so mad. I hear it all the time as a podcaster, and I cringe, man. It's just like, no, don't say that. That's not the compliment you think it is. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so you talked about Opries. Opries is a big thing here in Texas. At least it used to be. You're right, it is somewhat of a dying breed. But I feel like as a young artist, your opportunities are based in church and Opries. And if you're real lucky, maybe you'll find a restaurant that'll take a chance on you or something like that. But really, those are your two opportunities to kind of learn and experiment and mature within your art. At some point in time, though, again, you started at 14 in the Opries stuff, but at some point in time, you end up going to American Idol, and I do want to chat about this briefly. I'm not a big fan of the contestant shows. I understand their place. They are important. So what I want to talk to you about is not necessarily your experience with American Idol, but more as a looking back at it. How did that experience kind of shape you more as an artist, and especially as a songwriter? Because they don't really allow much original music on those shows. So did that help you as an original artist?
It did. I'm really glad that I did it. And I look back, I'm like, oh my gosh, lovingly. I'm like, you go, girl, for, having the courage to do that. And, I was around in the time, like, it was obviously a little bit later, but like I saw Kelly Clarkson, girl from down the street in Texas, go on there and win. And so like as a little girl, I was like, oh man, I would love to go on there like Kelly and do what Kelly did. And it was a little bit different, by the time I ended up auditioning and being on the show. I think I was season 14, so it had changed a bit.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad I did it. Like it was very eye-opening. It definitely gave me thick skin in the industry, because it's extremely different from just music. That's, film, TV, and music. Right. So it's a different entity over there. But it kind of lit a fire under me. Once I got back, I'm like, okay, I'm going to put out a record, and I'm going to start writing, and like, more. I was just like, I'm ready to go. I'm doing this thing. Like, I'm not quitting.
I love that.
So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. And I think that's right. I mean, I've done some work with Fremantle Media, and, who I don't know if they're still with American Idol or still doing American Idol, but they've done AGT and all of the shows. And I know that a lot of the times the answers are that you learn more business sense from that, which is strange because it's a music show. But I also get it, right? At some point you moved to Nashville. I know 2017. When do you or how do you find space in your sound for both Nashville and Texas? Right, because you're from Texas, you moved to Nashville. There's a wide divide between those two vibes. You have both of those vibes in your sound, though. So, how are you finding space for them both?
I feel like I am both. You
Yeah.
know, like I'm pretty deeply rooted as a Texan, and I'm a proud Texan. But I absolutely love Nashville too, and have always, of course, been a big fan of the music, the musicians, producers. I work with Bill Warner, and so he kind of like has honored that in me. Like we have leaned into like the Texan in me that has a lot of the grittiness, but there's also like just a traditional country singer listening to the classics that I have in my voice as well. And so I've had a lot of fun kind of blending both of them. And so when you were talking about Cowgirls Ride, and that's really like what my next project is going to sound like, is kind of a blend of Western and Texas and Nashville. So I just feel like it's me. So it doesn't feel like I'm doing anything weird or out of my comfort zone, because I'm like, okay, this is some music that I feel like, wow, I finally have found what I sound like.
Yeah,
as
it's
an
just
artist.
organic
I'm really
for you,
proud.
so it's not tough. You're just being you, and so far it's working because people love that. People love that integrity and connectability, I think it boils down to believability, right? Like if people believe in what you're trying to give to them, then the connectability will be there in spades, I feel. You talked about Bill Warner. I know from reading your bios and seeing other interviews from you that he has been paramount in your career. Talk a little bit about your working relationship with Bill and how this works so well. Going on the third number one almost, so...
Yeah, it's so funny. I met Bill and Kirsty Manna. They're married kind of by luck. So I have a song called Lucky, and it's kind of about all of that, just being lucky in life and love. But I threw my business card in a fishbowl at this like mixer for industry folks, and ended up winning like a free demo.
Wow.
This is kind of when I first moved to Nashville, which a guitar vocal, and if you don't know what that is,
Yeah.
you need them, and you want to pitch your songs or get started. That's like kind of the first part of recording your song. And I was like, well, I'll take that. You know, I could save some money where I can. And that's how I met Bill. And so we've been working together since then. And we even used part of that demo on my project called Lucky. And it's on the song In the Sunshine. So that was the original demo vocal. We loved it so much. We're like, oh, we're going to keep it, and let's just do a project together. And I've been working with them since then. That was 2019. So we have a great relationship. I'm like, we've really like kind of figured out our mojo in the studio, and it's just a lot of fun. I really feel like I'm a big part of the music and the production side as well. So
Yeah.
it's fun to be a
6
part
years
of
is
it.
a long time to have a relationship with a producer. So, you know, if that collaborative, if the collaborative juices are vibing, then stick with that. And I mean, like I said, when you're getting just repeated success in the same thing, why change anything, right? That's I don't know why people. I guess I do know why. I won't say I don't know why. I do know why. I'm trying to get through as much as I can here because you have such an interesting story. I want to talk about Abilene, the second number one, a little bit, and not in the maybe not in the path that you're thinking, but I want to talk about the music video, which I look at your videos and I can see the importance in the strategy for Tori Martin in your videos. These are not just willy-nilly, you know, let's just put a video with the song. There's importance here in delivering the message and furthering the message of the song. Talk about that a little bit, the importance of music videos to you.
Oh, it's so much fun. And especially my last few singles, I've been able to kind of like be a huge part in the creation and the direction of a music video and bringing it to life. And I've so enjoyed it. It's just like another creative outlet. And I actually worked on the Abilene music video with my husband, and we have a real estate business as well, but he loves like movies.
Yeah.
And he, you know, it was always a dream for him. He's like, I want to do movies someday. And so I was like, well, why don't you like collab and direct my music video? And so he was all in, and we kind of made Abilene. It's unique and a little bit different from any of my other music videos, like a short film.
It was amazing. Yeah, it's really
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah.
We're so proud of it. You know, like it's very unique, but we just wanted to show a different story. Like I wrote the song in the car with my producer, Bill DeLuigi and Kirsty, man. I was out on radio tour and just had this idea pop in my head. We just started riffing and we wrote the song and got to an Airbnb and put it to music. And we were like, well, what do you know? We got our song. And so it's just a true country story song, and it was fun to bring it to life.
Yeah.
By film.
It's just so cool. I hope people will really, if you take anything from this interview, go check out Abilene. I think you guys will really like the story. It's beautifully done, right? Like you listen to the song, and the song has got a lot of descriptive language in it anyway, right? It's already telling a great story, but then you go over to that music video, and a lot of times for me, like I'll just let my videos play. And every so often there'll be one of those, like cinematic videos, which is what Abilene is, and you hear spoken word, and it's like, wait a minute, like you literally stop what you're doing, and you go and watch the video, and that's the point, right? Like you've got somebody to stop and watch your video, which means you're selling the song even more. You're delivering a stronger message. It's so smart. It truly is. Last question before I get into some of this fun stuff that I have. You talked about being busy. You talked about having other businesses in real estate. And I know how busy you are just from trying to get this hour or whatever with you, which I'm so honored to have. But let's talk about the balance between professional and personal. Because when you're that busy, you're always on the run. You're either doing radio, you're writing, you're on stage, you're traveling from one stage to the next. How do you find time for Tori?
That's a great question. I'm like, it's probably will be one of my greatest life challenges. It's interesting because I do split my time between like Texas, Fort Worth area and Nashville. And my husband spends a little bit more time in Fort Worth. So I go to and fro and obviously play a lot of shows in Texas as well. So I'm like, I like to find like the things that make me happy. So I talked about like, I love to get off the grid. That's always fun for me. Typically do that in Texas. I have 3 dogs, which is always a challenge, but they're my happy people in the world. I love them so much. I have Duke and Daisy. They're 2 golden retrievers and a little Frenchie named Lucky. And they're crazy and I love them to death. So I'm like, I have a lot of fun just, being a dog mom. And I'm athletic. I like to do like Pilates and work out. So it can kind of feel like therapy to me. And then I love to, spend time at church when I have some free time and go to Bible study or sing at church, just volunteer where I can, help do events. And just get outside of yourself and just
you know how
be
important
you.
that is, right? You do know how important that alone time is. And I mean, for an artist, you can forget about that, right? Everything else is more important than you in the moment. So as somebody who's a fan of yours and wants to see you do well, just remember that. That's really important to have your slow time as well.
For sure.
I'm sure you know that, but let's get into some fun stuff with Tori, and then we'll let her get off of here. So I have a bunch of fun segments that we use for TikToks and stuff to promote the interview, and we just started yesterday letting the guest choose the segments. So this is going to be fun. Like 4 or 5 of these you'll get to choose. So the first one is called "Did You Know?" So can you tell us something that folks may not know about you?
Ooh, I come from a really big family. It's messy and crazy, but I have 10 siblings.
Wow. What number are you?
I'm in the middle. I'm like, it's nuts.
She don't even know what number she is. She's like, look,
birth ranking.
bro, I'm not doing math today, Boston. We are not doing math. All right.
I'm like, that's so county.
That is so funny. All right, number 2. So military family and a huge family. That's amazing. All right, next one you get to choose. Do you want to do fun or not fun?
Fun.
Okay, fun is, what are some things, I think we already kind of mentioned some of these. What are some things you like to do outside of music?
I love to go thrifting. I love like vintage, antiquing, Pilates, walking my dogs, riding a horse, things like that.
Awesome. Yeah, antiquing is fun, especially in Texas. I feel like every Texas small town is like the same thing, right? It's just a bunch of old stuff. And It can be really fun digging through old stuff to try to find the one thing that you want, or even impulsivity, you know. Next segment, choose Mount Rushmore or one artist.
One artist.
Who is one artist that Tori Martin wants the entire world to know about, other than yourself?
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I'm like, I mean, at first, one artist made me think of like my idol, like who I look up to, and that's Dolly Parton. So like everybody knows Dolly, but I would say, you know, like the next one behind me. So there's quite a few girls that I know and have been writing with, but like Cooper Ramsey, and there's some cute like Peyton Howie, just a few girls behind me. I'm like, the next generation.
Yeah.
That's what I want them to know.
I
Of
mean,
girls, female, country music.
I don't know Cooper. I'll look her up, but I'm a huge fan of Peyton. So yeah, I know.
Okay, great. Yeah, Cooper is so cute. Check her out.
I will definitely check her out. That's a very selfish segment because I'm always looking for new artists and new music. So thank you for that. All right, next one. Choose what the heck or impactful.
What the heck?
All right, what the heck is 5 rapid fire questions. You have to give me the first thing that enters your mind.
Uh-oh.
All right, so the
Okay.
rule is no change in your mind.
Okay.
All right. So number 1, let me see. What happened? No, we did that one yesterday. All right. Would you rather have to read aloud everything you read? So if you read something, you have to say it out loud. Or would you rather sing everything you have to say out loud?
Read everything out loud that I have to read. I think so.
Because
Yeah.
you're already singing a lot. That makes sense. All right. Number
True.
2, if your pet could talk, what would it say about you?
Ooh, she's a busy bee.
All right. Number 3, what is the funniest thing you have ever wore?
Oh, I don't know. Not fun, super crazy, but like I dressed up as Lizzie McGuire last year for Halloween, and that was fun.
That's
And that was
great.
hilarious. So I had fun doing that.
I love it. All right, number 4, have you ever dropped your phone in your face while using it in bed?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's not fun. That hurts.
No, it is
Oh.
not. Yeah, it's not. I've
Yeah.
dropped it more times not on my head and then been like, oh, thank God it didn't land on my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, number 5, let's see here. What are you most afraid of?
Ooh. Not reaching my highest potential.
Great answer. That's good stuff. All right, next segment is either you choose one, bucket list or fly on the wall.
Fly on the wall.
All right, what room in history would you like to have been a fly on the wall in?
Oh man, there's so many. Maybe like the early days at the Grand Ole Opry, you know, like when Dolly and Porter were there. I'd like to see what was going on.
Those would have been
Kind
some
of
good
that
days, like the
dynamic.
hootenanny days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be dope. All right, next segment, choose one, biggest lesson or moment of gravity.
Biggest lesson
All right, what is the biggest lesson you've learned directly from music?
directly from music. I'd say you have to keep at it, you know, and like the more that you keep showing up, the more opportunity will happen, and you just keep getting better. I think you get better the more that you stay with it.
Sure,
And
yeah.
that's kind of what I've learned, is you continue to evolve.
Yeah, repetition is the key to muscle memory. And then, you know, the more you do something, the less you have to think about it, right? In the future.
Yeah.
It just comes naturally. All right, next one's called Grateful. What are the 3 things you're most grateful for?
Oh man, I'm like definitely like faith, family, and doggies.
Faith, family, and doggies. Let's go. All right, last segment, and this could be the hardest one to answer. It's called
Okay.
Who Do You Think You Are? Who is Tori Martin?
I'm just a good old country girl that's a country music lover. I just like to have a lot of fun. I love to perform. I love to songwrite. And I love animals, so I have fun. I don't know, I have a lot of fun. I'm pretty like bubbly and vivacious, but I also can be kind of like reserved at times. But I think that's who I am.
Perfect. I appreciate you so much for doing this. Let's tell people where they can follow along with you. You and your team have made this extremely easy for folks, and the uniformity is really difficult to find in this business, I find. Guys, it's the Tori Martin, literally everywhere. I looked at this, and there's literally not a single thing in her portfolio that is different than that. So it's thetorimartin.com. She has an Instagram, a Facebook, a TikTok, an X, a YouTube, both Spotify and Apple. All of it is the Tori Martin. And you can see that spelling on your screen. And we'll put a link in the description down below for the webpage as well. The current single is number 6 as we record this. It will be a third consecutive number 1 by the time this airs. What's the next single coming out?
Well, it obviously is a little contingent upon that song hit number 1.
Right.
And then I do have a music video for Cowgirls Ride coming out on September 19th. So it will have been out by probably the time this comes out. So
Right.
definitely check it out if you haven't seen it yet.
I'll put that in the description too. Y'all check out the video.
Please do. So excited about it. Oh my goodness. I got to collaborate with so many amazing women in the Weatherford, Texas community that are like escarmuta riders and cowgirls, rodeo queens. So pumped. And then I do have my next single ready to go, maybe probably towards the end of October, kind of is what we're thinking.
Nice.
And it's a very different vibe. So it's different from anything that I've released to date. But I would say that it's kind of a sister song to Abilene. So we're very excited about that.
Very cool. That's exciting. So y'all make sure you're checking that out. If you could ask folks to support you, what's the best way for them to do so?
Yeah, find me online. Come to a show. If I'm playing in your city, would love to meet you. But yeah, the Tori Martin.
The Tori Martin everywhere. Y'all make sure you check that out. Tori, thank you so much for doing this and making the time.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Hey, this is Jesse Robb Jr. Thanks for tuning in to the Boston Chris Show.